then approval process or workflow process or automating the workflows. These are some nice concepts. Let's try to understand the scenario. Then we can you can see why that concept is required. So I able to log in. Let me minimize this. If you look at here, so if you look at here, yesterday I discussed about the formulas. So where did we apply the formula? We apply the formula to calculate the value. So that means there is a line item 101 and how many units sold? 10, or unit price is 10 of type Lenovo, and this is available in the invoice statement number 1, and obviously value, that means total value comes because of or by multiplying these two. So I don't want to allow the billing guide to do that one, so I want to do automatically. So that's why we applied or we made one more field called formula field. Now consider another scenario, and I already shown you so why we are having the inside the invoice statement line item, because every if you look at here, so let's take this invoice statement and there is a line item here. So that means every invoice statement will have line items. That's why we added here. So I shown you how to achieve this one. And here also, so if you go to the product, you don't see invoice statement. And I clearly shown you why it's not available here. Okay, that's fine. Now let's consider another scenario. The another scenario is roll-up summary. Roll-up summary. This is again a beautiful concept. So what it says, before we go and read out about the roll-up summary, let's understand the scenario. Consider this scenario. Let me make it a bit smaller size. Yeah. So if you look at now, yeah. Just give me a second. I am just trying to reduce the size so that I can replicate the scenario here easily. Yeah. If you look at this one, or otherwise I can open the first one. If you look at here, look at this scenario. So line item 1, unit price is 10, this is 8, unit sold is 8, of type HP, and the value is 18. Next, line item number 102, 22, 11, Lenovo, invoice number 1, 231. And where are we doing the sum of this one? If you look at here, this invoice number or invoice number 1 is having 2 line items. Each line item is having 2 sum. But where are we doing overall sum? We are not doing. And can I maintain the overall sum in the line item table, or where else I can maintain? Can I maintain overall sum in the line item table or somewhere else? Overall sum of these invoice statements. Because I should not sum all the invoice statements. Summing all the invoice statements is different again. But I should have, okay, this invoice number 1 is this much of value. This invoice number 2 is this much of value. So where I need to maintain that one. So to maintain that, I need to have one more field in the invoice table. So therefore, I am creating one more table here, or one more field here. So let me call that field as invoice value. Let me call that field as invoice value. And this is going to be roll-up summary. This is going to be roll-up summary type. So therefore, as per this situation, okay, as per this situation, so this is invoice number, roll-up invoice value is going to be how much? 180 plus 231 is nothing but how much? 311. Okay, 311. So this is going to be invoice number 2. Invoice number 2 is having only one line item, so that's nothing but 5228 or 5828, like that. Now I would like to do this one. To do this one, we are going to use a concept called roll-up summary. And remember the conclusion, roll-up summary you cannot apply in the change tables. That means you cannot apply for the line item. Roll-up summary you can apply for the master table. That means you can apply for the merchandise, you can apply for the invoice. I am repeating this conclusion again because most of them are asking this question. Roll-up summary you cannot apply for the change objects. So if you look at here, which is the child object? Line item is the child object. So you cannot have roll-up summary for the child object. You can have roll-up summary for the master objects. So what are the master objects here? Merchandise is the master object and the invoice statement is the master object. That means you can have roll-up summary in these master objects. So therefore, to calculate the invoice value, I am using roll-up summary. Roll-up summary is nothing but it will go and check in the change table what are the invoice values available in the change table and do the sum and come back and populate it here. Just repeating what roll-up summary will do. Roll-up summary, it will go to the change table or change object and identify what are all the invoice line items available for this particular invoice number and get the sum, min, max, these are the functions. You can apply those functions. Get all those min, max functions and do the calculate and update in the master table. So that's what we are trying to do using roll-up summary. Hope you understand the scenario. See, scenario is important. Introducing a new concept is not important, but linking up the scenario is important for that. Okay. So therefore, this is the invoice statement. Sorry, not this one. This is the invoice statement. Okay. Now I am pasting that one. Let me add one more row. Not a row, column. Okay. Now I will just have this one as invoice value. Please go for mute. So my cousin will go for the mute. So the data type for this one is roll-up summary. Roll-up summary. Data type is roll-up summary. Okay. So field is what? What is the field name? Field label? Invoice value. Then what else we need? Next, so what are we trying to maintain here? So if you look at the line item for invoice number 1, what are the line items? 120 plus 495. This is nothing but how much? This is nothing but how much? 120 or 615 is the sum. 615 is the sum. So for invoice number 2, here I am trying to explain with this example. So it will be 704 only. So can you go for mute please? Please or someone can you go for mute because I see some noise is coming.
Anna, give me 1 second. I'll unmute. I'll mute all and I'll unmute only.
Hope now are you able to hear me, Sujit? Okay, good. So let's continue. Okay, so if you look at here, so I am doing the sum. So therefore, I need to mention the roll-up type. What is the roll-up type I want? Roll-up type. Roll-up type I would like to do sum. So instead of sum, you can also do min, max, count. These are the functions you can apply. So you might be getting a question: what are the different roll-up types available? What are the different roll-up types available? So you can do the sum, you can do the min, you can do the max, you can do the count. These are the roll-up summary types. Roll-up types. Or people may ask roll-up functions. What are the roll-up functions? So the roll-up functions are sum, minimum, maximum, and count. These are the functions. So anyway, we can see this. Okay. So this is how I would like to have the roll-up summary. And roll-up summary you can do for the master object, not for the child objects. Now coming to the scenario. Please come to here. If you look at here, invoice statement, I can go for one invoice statement. Invoice number 1. Okay. So if you see the invoice number 1, so do I have the total value or invoice value? I don't have. It is having 3 line items. But I don't have the invoice value. So let me take the print screen of this one, so that you can see before and after. I'm just closing this one. So this is the before. So we have line items, but we don't have the invoice value. So you can also go and check for the invoice number 2. If you look at here, we have the line items, but we don't have the invoice value. That is the situation right now. Okay, that is the situation right now. Now, I would like to introduce a field called invoice value in the invoice object. Go to the setup. Okay, create objects. So where I would like to introduce? I would like to introduce in the invoice statement. Okay, so it is a new field. So therefore, click on new. So here we have roll-up summary. See, we are trying to cover slowly all the data types. Here we have roll-up summary. Now let me go ahead and select let me see. Right now I am invoice segment. That means it is a master object. As a master object, that's why it is enabled. If you look at further, let me go back to the line item and see further. I'm going to the line item. I'm clicking on new. See, roll-up summary is disabled. Roll-up summary is disabled because the object right now is the line item. It is a child object. For child object, roll-up summary won't be available. And remember this, roll-up summary is the read-only field. You cannot enter. It is a calculated field. Roll-up summary, you cannot enter. It is a calculated field. So therefore, let me go ahead and select the invoice statement. Invoice statement. Okay, click on new. Now type is roll-up summary. Click on next. Okay. Now I would like to give the label name as invoice value, and description and all, these are all not major. So let me go ahead and continue. Okay. Now if you look at here, please observe here. master object is invoice statement, and you would like to perform this roll-up summary on which object? I need to perform roll-up summary or roll-up type on which object? On the line item object. So therefore, you can select the line item object. You can select the line item object. This is what I told you. Roll-up types. So you have min, max, sum and count. These are only available. So therefore, right now I would like to do sum. So that's why I have selected the sum. Now, field level aggregate. So which field you would like to do the sum? Because if you look at here, there are so many fields in the line item. If you look at here, there are so many fields in the line item. One is unit price, unit sold, all these things. There you would like to apply. So I would like to apply sum on value. I would like to apply sum on value. So therefore you can select the field. So value is the field. Okay. Next, criteria. Criteria is nothing but all records should be included. Yes. All records I would like to go. Okay. Click on next. Okay. So let it be all these things same. Click on next. Yes, click on save. That's all. Now go ahead and see the results. Go ahead and see the results. So previously, invoice statement number 1, it is not having the invoice value and it is like this. Now go to the invoice statement number 1. Now see, invoice value came automatically. This is nothing but sum of the invoice value. So from the line item 1, line item 2, line item 3, we take the values and it did the sum. That's why you got this one. Now you can go ahead and observe the invoice number 2 also. You can go ahead and observe the invoice number 2 also. So I got the invoice value. Invoice number 3. Invoice number 3, invoice value is 0 because of the reason is what? There are no line items. Now let me go and add the line item. Let me go ahead and add the line item. Let's say 107. Okay, so unit price is 10. Unit sold is, unit price is 15. Unit sold is 16. And up type what? Up type Lenovo. Okay, up type Lenovo. The invoice number 3. Click on save. So how much? 15 into 16 is nothing but 240. So the value came automatically. Look at here. So this is nothing but the invoice statement overall value or total value. Okay. Now you can go ahead and add one more line item. Say 108. Okay. Unit price 5. Unit sold 6. Up type, let's say ready products. Click on save. Now 5 into 6 is nothing but the 30. See, your invoice value is increased. It is nothing but the 240 plus 30, 270. That's all about the roll-up summary. Now if you have any questions on the roll-up summary, you can ask me. Any questions on the roll-up summary? When to use the roll-up summary? It clearly explained you the scenario. Don't allow the user to type all these things. Don't allow the user to calculate all these things. As a developer, it is your responsibility to do auto-calculate all these things. Any questions on the roll-up summary? Suprit, Shiva, Uma, and Varsha. You can type. Suprit, Uma. Okay. So the next concept, let's go for the validation rules. Let me try to introduce this scenario for the validation rules. The next concept is validation rules. So what is the meaning of validation rules? Let's see. Or when do you use validation rules? Let's see. If you look at here, my diagram, so these are the different objects available. There is a product object, there is a investment object, there is a line item object. Please try to understand the concept. Let's say I'm solding out, or how many Lenovo's are available? 150. How many Lenovo's are available? 150. Let's say I'm creating a line item 104 and unit price is 200, unit sold is 200. And when I click save, do I need to get the error, yes or no? Because of the reason is available Lenovo's are how much? 150. But how many I am selling? 200. It's not possible. So if you look at here, validation rules. Let me bring the master table. So this is what the table we have, percentage table. So for validation rules, I am creating the scenario. Okay. So this is what the merchandise table, that means product table. And this is what the line item table. This is what the line item table. Okay, this is what the line item table. So if you see here, this is what the product table and this is what the line item table. I no need to have all these things every time because that requires only creation time. So I am just trying to remove so that we no need to have a bunch of the steps. We can focus only this concept. Let me try to clean up something. Yeah. So this is how the what is that master invoice merchandise table. Sorry, this is not line items. This is invoice statement. We should go for the line items. Where is the line item table? Yeah, this is what the line item table. Let me try to remove these data types, all these things. See, if you remember the scenario, then remembering the concept is very easy. If you are not remembering the scenario, then it's like a mug-up kind of thing. Merchandise, all these things. Okay. So this is what master table and this is what the detail table, or this is what products available and this is what the line items. Now I am saying what? Let we have Lenovo availability is equal to 150. Okay, let we have Lenovo availability is equal to 150 and we are trying to sell or let we have Lenovo availability is equal to 150, and we are trying to sold 200 unit, then we should be getting error message. So you can define error message. Error message is not important for us. So throwing error message is important. So what could be the error message? What could be the error message? You have ordered more items than available stock. This is how I would like to have the error message. I am trying to repeat the scenario again. Validation rules. Let we have 150 Lenovo availability, and we are trying to sold 200 units. How is it possible? Let's say you are going to a store. You are going to a store and you are asking, I want 200 Lenovos, but the store is having only 150. So if in the store only 150 are there, what they will be saying to you? Okay, they will say, okay, we have less number of stock, only we can show 150. So therefore, let we have Lenovo availability is 150 and we are trying to sold out 200 units. Then we should be getting error called you have ordered more items than available stock. That is the error message we should be getting. That's what we are trying to replicate now. Okay, now let's say now you observe right now. So whether it is happening or not. Am I getting the error message? You can check it. What is available Lenovo? You can check first. So available Lenovo is 150. Now let me go and go to the 104, 103 or wherever you want you can go. So 150 Lenovo is available. Okay. Now I am adding a line item, new line item, assume that new line item. Let's say this is 110. This is 110 and the unit price is let's say 10,000 and the unit sold let's say 300. Units availability is what? 150 and the units I am trying to sold how many? 300. Is it possible? It should not be possible and we should be getting error. Let's see whether we are getting error or not. I click on save. See, there is no error at all. There is no error at all because we did not take care of that step. Now we should take care of that step. Now I am deleting this one, whatever we added, 104 or 110. So right now we are not getting the error because we did not implement that validation. Now let me go ahead and implement the validation. Okay. Now let me go to your name. So now tell me in which object I need to apply the validation. Now tell me in which object I need to apply the validation. Merchandise table or invoice table or line item table. In which table or in which object I need to apply the validation. So praise Shiva, anyone? In which object I need to apply the validation because I explained the scenario. Now you can tell in which object we can apply the validation. Yes, it is line item table. So it is line item table. So create object line item. Create object line item. If you scroll down, if you look at here, there is a validation rules. So you can click on new. Okay, you can click on new. Now you can have n number of validations. You can have n number of validations. So I'm making validation name as order having stock availability or checking stock availability. Checking stock availability. Checking stock availability. And remember this, sometimes what happens, you are creating a validation rule, right? That validation rule should be active, genuinely that shows the errors. And the interviewers might be asking this question, I created a validation rule, but somehow I don't see the changes. Why? So you need to tell, maybe that validation rule is not active. I'm repeating this question again. So interviewers might be asking this question, I created 10 validation rules, but none of them are working. Why? What might be the reason? I created everything correctly, but none of them are working. What might be the reason? So the reason might be it is not active. So therefore, whenever you create a validation rule, it should be active so that you will be getting all the stuff. Otherwise, you will not get. Okay. So description is not that much great. Okay, I don't want to focus much on the description, so that's fine. Okay, now you need to specify the condition, error condition formula. Now, can you tell me what is the formula I need to check to get the error message? Now, I need to display error message when you are trying to sold more units than available units. That means what? You need to check total inventory and units sold. So what is the condition? Can you tell me the condition now? Okay, so the condition will be insert a field from the line item. So here you have many objects. From the line item, so what is the field? Units sold. Insert units sold greater than what? Total inventory. Total inventory is from which object? Merchandise object. Where is the merchandise object? Yeah, here is the merchandise object. Okay, merchandise object. From the merchandise object, which field? Total inventory. So insert it. This is the condition. So what is the condition? If units sold greater than available total inventory, then I would like to throw the error message. That's what the meaning. I'm repeating again. So when you want the error message, if you are trying to sold out more items than total inventory, if you are trying to sold more items than total inventory, then you are going to show the error message. That's what we are trying to write. Units sold greater than total inventory, then you would like to throw the error message. Now if you look at here, this total inventory is up. So right now we are creating validation in which object? In line item object. That's why you can add the fields directly. But if you want to add the field other than the current object, then you need to specify the object name also. If you look at here, unit sold is from the same object, that's why you can use those fields directly. Now if you see total inventory, it is coming from different objects, that's why you need to add the object name also. And the object names ends with the _R. R stands relation. So therefore, whenever you want to use the field from other objects, then you need to use the notation object name dot field name. That's what we are trying to do here. Okay, so that is the condition we entered, and we can also use all these functions, blah blah blah. I don't want to focus much on that. Now error message. So what is the error message we would like to have? I can just take the one whatever we have or whatever we typed already. Copy this and paste this. So you have ordered more items than available stock. And error locations. Where do you want to display that error location, error message? Are you want to display on top of the page, or are you want to display on the field? Field means what? If you look at this, did I take the print screen? So yes, you can display, but these kind of error messages you can display on the top of the page, because see, there is a field, there will be field level error messages, there will be page level error messages. I mean, it depends again, but field level error messages are generally validations. Yeah, you can have here also, or you can have top of the page. When you say field level, then it is going to ask for which field, unit sold. But I would like to have top of the page. It is your wish, that's not a big deal. Click on save. Click on save, that's all. Now let's go ahead and check the validation, let's go ahead and test it. So what the Lenovo availability? Lenovo availability is 150. Now I am going to the invoice statement. Let me go to the invoice number 1. Now let me try to add a line item. Let's say 110 is a line item, and the unit price is, let's say 1000, and the units sold 180 of type Lenovo in the invoice number. Click on save. See, invalid data. So what is the message you are getting? You have ordered more items than available stock. That's all about the validations. Now you can do n number of validations based on your scenarios. But this is how you can create the validations. If you have any questions on the validations, you can ask me, else we can go to the next concept called workflows, or automating the process using workflows. This is one more beautiful concept, workflows. Any questions? Supreet, Varsha, Uma, any question on the validation? When to apply the validations? This is the way you can create n number of validations. Supreet, are you sleeping? No, great. Okay. Now let me create a scenario for the what is that? Automating the workflows. Let me create a scenario for automating. Let me create a scenario for automating, for explaining the automating the process. Automating process using workflows. This is one good concept. Okay, automating the process using workflows. Now let me create the scenario first. So this is what we have. I can take this one directly to replicate the scenario. I don't want to type everything again. Okay, so if you look at here, just give me a sec. Okay. Okay. So if you look at here, please try to understand. Please try to understand. So what is Lenovo availability? 150. And how many I am? If you look at here, how many I sold? I sold 11. Is the total inventory is reduced? It's not reduced. So we need to automate the process. I'm repeating the scenario again. If you look at here, the total availability is 150. Lenovo availability is 150. And how many I sold out? 11. Then availability should be what? 139. But do I have like that? I don't have like that. So therefore we need to automate the process for this. Even you can observe here. Even you can observe here. What is the Lenovo availability? 150. So you can see 150 here. Now let me go ahead and sold some Lenovos. Let me go ahead and sold some Lenovos. Create a line item. Let's say this is 110. Now unit price is 15. Unit sold is 15. I'll type Lenovo. I'll type Lenovo. Click on save. Now go ahead and observe the Lenovo. I sold 15, so it should be 135. Do I have 135? No, it is 150 only. It is 150 only. The reason is we did not automate the process. So we need to automate the process now. We need to automate the process now. So let's see how to automate the process using workflows. Let's see how to automate the process using workflows. Let me go ahead and delete this 110. Even if you have, that's not a challenge, but that's fine. Okay. Now I am just pasting this entire screen for that to explain the scenario. Okay, automating the process. Okay, so this is how we have. Now let we created or let Lenovo total inventory or availability. Let the total inventory or availability is equal to 150. Availability is equal to 150, and it's there already. And let we are trying to enter one more line item. As like this. Let's say 104 space unit price. Let's say 150 unit sold. Let's say 25 space of type Lenovo. This is how I am entering. Then invoice number, let's say invoice number 1001. Then total value is how much? 150 into 300, 450, right? 450. This is how we are entering. We are trying to enter one more line item as 104, 150, 25 of type Lenovo, and so on, so on, so please stop. So here unit sold is equal to how much? Unit sold is equal to how much? 25. That means in this line item, unit sold is equal to 25. Now, okay, now after 25 sold out, we should be having merchandise total inventory is equal to how much? 150 minus 25. It should be 125. How we get the 125? 150 minus 25. So that is what the scenario. Now if you have any questions on the scenario, you can ask me. Else we can go ahead and see. We can implement this one. Then you can see the output. And there are two scenarios here. I will explain the two scenarios after completion of this exercise. So the scenario is, let we have availability is 150 and we are trying to solve or we are trying to enter one more line item, blah blah blah. Here unit sold is 25. After 25 sold out, we should be having merchandise total inventory 125, not 150 again. That is wrong. So now how to implement this? Any questions on the scenario? If no questions on the scenario, I can start implementing this exercise. Please respond me, because this scenario is important. You should be able to understand the scenario. Okay. Now let me go ahead and implement the scenario. So you need to go to the setup. Now tell me, you can tell me, you can go to the object. So where I need to create the automation process? In which object? Invoice statement or merchandise or line item? Where I need to create the automation process? Invoice statement or merchandise or line item? Where I can do? So I can do in the line items. So you can go to create. Or setup. You have something called, yeah. So you no need to go to the object, you can directly create outside. So if you look at here, there is workflow and approvals. There is workflow and approvals. Now you need to create what? Workflow rule. Automating the process using workflow rule. Yeah, using workflows. That's correct only title. So you no need to go to any object. You have that feature available outside. So therefore, you need to go to create workflows and approvals, workflow rules. That is the option you need to create. So here you can study a lot of stuff about the workflow rules, but let's not focus more on the theory. Let's focus on scenario. Then say continue. Then say continue. Now you are creating a rule now. You are creating a rule now. Let's go ahead and create a new rule. Let's go ahead and create a new rule. Okay, new rule on which object? So the line item object. Okay, so new rule on which object? Line item object. That's where we need the rule, right? That's where we need to check. Next, click on next. Now what is the rule name? Rule name is what? You can create whatever you want. Where we are applying? We are applying Chenna line item object 1. For what purpose? The purpose is update total inventory. So that is what the rule name I have given. Now, so when this rule has to be triggered? When this rule has to be triggered? Whenever we are creating a record or whenever we are updating a record. So therefore, create and edit every time. So I am just selecting this one. See, if you look at here, when this has to be updated? When this has to be updated? Whenever I go on to create the record or I can update the record. So therefore, when to trigger this one? So it's not created, it's not create every time and edit it, and you can take this one also. Create and every time it's edited. Create and anytime. So you can go for this one, anytime edit. Subsequent shall meet criteria. So criteria is required. Okay, let's go with the third one. Now, what is the criteria? If you look at here, what is the difference? The first one is just like whenever you are creating a record, it will do. The second one is whenever you create a record or update the record, it will do. The third one is whenever you create the record and update the record and meet some criteria, then only it will do. Okay. Now, let me introduce the criteria here also. Let me introduce the criteria here. So, okay, now unit sold is 25. That's fine. After unit sold 25, we should be having merchandise is equal to 125 when 125 when invoice statement Chenna invoice statement 01 status is equal to, I am introducing the criteria here to have more clarify for you. When status is equal to open. If status is not equal to open, then don't do. Okay, when status is equal to open. This is what the criteria I would like to have. I am repeating this point again. To cover the criteria scenario, I am introducing one more and condition here, nothing more than that. If you look at the scenarios here, see, I can go for simple scenario like created, but you may not get much knowledge. I can go for create and edit, but the best combination is create, edit when criteria met. So therefore, now I am creating a criteria. So this scenario is covering all the objects now. That means what? We are trying to enter in the line item table, and the updates will happen in the merchandise table, but condition will check in the invoice table. Okay, so let me repeat the final ones. So let we have total availability is 150, and we are trying to enter line item like this. Here unit sold is 25. After we sold out or after 25 sold out, we should have merchandise update is equal to merchandise 125 when Chenna invoice statement object status is open. If it is closed, I don't want to do. If it is closed, I don't want to do, or I don't want to fire this rule. Okay, so that's why I'm going here. I'm trying to introduce invoice statement status. Invoice statement status equals to open. See, it is a drop down because you can select the values. Insert. So that means I can go on to merchandise. I can go on to update the total inventory when invoice statement is open. If it is closed, I don't want to do. That's what the meaning. So it is covering all the logic. So click on save and next. Click on save and next. Now you have something here. Immediate this one. So when you want to have this one for the new field update. Okay. So you can select after if workflow action is new field update. Now it's asking the name. So what I need to update? Update merchandise total inventory. Merchandise total inventory. So then name is fine. Next. So from which object? Field level object. Which object I need to update? Merchandise total inventory. Merchandise total inventory I need to update. So therefore field to update. So field to update is merchandise total object. Okay, number dot symbol. Now how it should be updated? So I need to write the formula. Okay, so formula editor, you can click so that you will get the formula editor. So sometimes it might be hidden. Sometimes you may see like this. So if you click on show formula editor, then you will get the formula editor. So what is the formula to calculate the total inventory? I said total inventory is nothing but unit price minus or total inventory minus unit sold. Is nothing but the current value. But I don't want to do that one. I would like to add one more thing. I'll explain this formula after completion of the exercise. I want to apply if. Okay, if first condition. See, I am applying the if condition now. If there is new parameter, is new. Yeah, there is new. I'll explain this one later, but try to just focus on what I'm trying to do. Hope you got what I'm trying to do here. So we created the automation process. Now on the automation process, what to do? That is what we are trying to do now. So on the automation process, we would like to update total inventory field. And how to update the total inventory field? That is what the formula we are trying to do now. Value is equal to, you can write something like this. Merchandise, insert a field from the total merchandise. There is a merchandise. Merchandise, total inventory, insert, minus unit sold. Minus unit sold. Insert it. Or I'll explain what is this. Or I am putting one more bracket here. Now I can say unit sold. This is one beautiful concept, but you need to understand a lot. Unit sold not unit sold, total inventory, right? Yeah. Total inventory total inventory is available in the merchandise object. Total inventory minus unit sold minus there is a function called the previous value. Insert it of unit sold. This much of big formula I am applying. I will explain what is this meaning. Don't worry. Okay. Now check is this correct or not syntactically. So syntactically it is wrong. Let's see, maybe the brackets and all it is not correct. So let me put it here. I think I need to remove one bracket. Oh, it is missing. So I need to add 2. So check for the error. Still we have something. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Now check for the error. I think now 1, 2, 3, 4. You need to count the brackets. I think now we are good. Yeah. So this is what the formula I am using. I'll explain what is this formula and all. This is the formula I use. Okay. Now check for the syntax, that is over. Now click on save. Okay. Click on save. Now there is done here. You can click on that one. Now after click on this one, don't go immediately. You need to activate it. Edit. What happened? Okay, click on save. So there is a activate here. Please activate it. So if you are not activating, again there is a problem. So again, same questions. So interviewer might be asking, I have created a workflow process, but it is not doing the steps what I expected. What might be the reason? The reason might be it is not activated. So people can deactivate or activate, because these are the workflows, or these are the workflow automation process. So the process can be activate or deactivate. That's all. Done. I am done. Now let's see the so let's see how it works. Now let me go ahead and see the Lenovo. So how much is availability right now? 150. How much is availability right now? 150. How much is the availability? 150. Now let me go ahead and sell some of the items. Invoice number 1, adding a new line item. Let's say 110. Let's say unit price is 26 and the unit sold is 25. Up type Lenovo. Up type Lenovo. Click on save. So it is saved successfully. Now go ahead and upload the Lenovo. See, right now it is 125. This is great. That's how it works. That's how automating process using workflows. Now let me explain the formula. What I am trying to do here. So if you look at the formula, I said if is new, then I am doing this, else I am doing something else. Let me try to explain this one. What is this meaning? Let me try to explain. Now okay. First look at here. I am going to the invoice statement. Am I inserting a new record? Yes. If new record, then this returns true. Is new function returns true if you are trying to insert a new record. See, I am repeating again. I am trying to explain the formula. I go to the invoice statement. I go to the invoice number and I am trying to insert a new record. Let's say 1111. Unit price is 11 rupees. Unit sold is 9. Now let's say unit sold is 5. Of type merchandise, or let's say Lenovo. Okay. So I am trying to insert a new record. When you are inserting a new record, is new function returns true. If returns true, then this will be executed. That means if is new function returns true, then this will be executed. If is new function returns false, when it returns false, when you do the update. When it returns true, when you do the insert. Okay. So what is the Lenovo availability? If you look at here, Lenovo availability is what? 125. You look at here, Lenovo availability is 125. Now I go here, I go to the invoice statement, I go to the line item, insert new. That means I am inserting a new record. When you insert the new record, each new function returns true. So that's why this will be executed. So what is there here? So here we have merchandise or total inventory. What is the total inventory from the merchandise? 125 minus units sold. What is the unit sold here? 1111. So unit price is 6, unit sold is 5, and now type Lenovo. After Lenovo. Click on save. That means I am trying to insert a new record. When unit sold is 5. So that means 5. Therefore, the output will be 120. So that's what it is updated here. So if you go here, you can see Lenovo is 120. Yes, 120. That's what it is. Now let's consider the another scenario where you do the update. Go to the invoice statement number 1. Okay, so go to the 11 or 10. I am doing edit. Edit means what? I am updating. If I am updating, is new function returns false. If it returns false, then this will be executed. So this will be executed when it is true. This will be executed when it is false. When it will be false? When you are doing the update. This execute. Okay. Now what I am trying to do here? If you look at here, I did a small formula here. So what is the total inventory right now? 120. What is the total inventory right now? 120. And I did a minus units sold. How much I am trying to? If you look at here, before is how much? 25. So that means what? Previous value of units sold is how much? 25. Previous value is 25. And the units sold. What I am trying to do right now? Let's say I can modify this as 45. That means already 25 is sold out. Now it is 45. Now it is 45. So this will be in the bracket. So therefore what does it mean? 25 minus 45 how much? 25 minus 45 minus 25. It's nothing but 20. So 120 minus 20. 120 minus 20. So that's nothing but 100. So therefore I should be having Lenovo as 100. Let's see whether we are having it or not. Click on save. Go to the merchandise. Go to the Lenovo. What happened? What happened? Did I save it? Go to here. Go to here. Click on edit. Yeah, it's 45 only. What happened? The formula is wrong. Let me go ahead and see the formula. Workflows or workflows. Continue. You can click on edit. Okay. So we have the criteria here. So we can check the criteria also. We can check the criteria also. But before we check the criteria, this is fine. Activate. Edit. See here it might be, we might be having more extra spaces, something like that, nothing more than that. But that is what the explanation is. Is new correct? Now let me come back here. So let me go with the formula as such. So this is nothing but what? 120 minus units sold. Right now it is 45 minus previous value. What is the previous value? 25. And this is how what I did. It is correct only. 1, 2, 2, 3. It is correct only. Let me. Anyway, we don't need one more. This is not a big deal, but is new. No syntax errors. Total inventory minus value of this one. You can have bracket here, not required here. Okay. Okay, save. Now save. It's activated. Activated. Okay, that's fine. Now let's go ahead and try once again. So go to here, click on edit. So right now it is 45. So let me make it as 50. Then click on save. So previously we are having 120. So 120 minus 5 should be 115. What happened is the invoice statement is open. It is open only. Let me go ahead and do one more update. Edit. So instead of 50, let me make it as 10. Let me try to insert one more. 112, 10, 10, Unit sold is Lenovo. Save. So it will work good for the edit, create new, but update. Let me try to do the update. Save. Okay, it's crossing the limit. Let's say 50. Save. Now go to the merchandise. Go to the Lenovo. Not doing. It might be because of that workflow rule is not triggered properly. Let me cross check the workflow rule. Continue. So let's say edit. So let me select this one because it's saying time dependent and all. Maybe that might be the reason. Click on save. Okay. Now I think that might be the reason because it is also asking the time. So I did not mention a time. That might be the reason. So now you can look at here. So Lenovo is 110. That's correct. So right now Lenovo is how much? You can observe the difference. So it's a 110. So right now Lenovo is 110. Okay, minus. I'm doing the update operation now. So definitely it will work now. Don't worry, because that will require some time. So as I did not mention the time, so that's why it was not. Now I click on update. So what the value right now? Our unit sold is 50. Okay, unit sold. So previous value is minus 50. Okay, now I am making it as 40. That means yesterday you have taken 50, but you are returning 10 back. That means it is 40. So the current value is 40. The current value is 40. So therefore, I should have Lenovo availability is what? 120. Let's see whether we are going to have 120 or not. Click on save. Click on save. Now let's see whether we are having 120 or not. See, look at here 120. That's how the workflows works. Now see the other scenario. When statement is open, then only I said yes, right? Otherwise don't do. Now let me make it as close. Let me make it as close. Right now invoice statement status is what? Close. Now in this invoice statement, go ahead and add the line item. So right now Lenovo is what? 120. Now if you go and sell one more, so let's say 10, let's say 11 you are sold out. Click on Lenovo, click on save. Now you see the difference. So the invoice statement is what? Closed. So if it is closed, then it is not affected. That's what the meaning of criteria. That's how the workflows works. That's how the validations you can apply. All these things. Now if you have any questions you can ask me, else you can stop here. Varsha, Uma, Supreet, Shiva, any questions let me know, otherwise you can stop here. That is how this formula works. Any questions? Supreet, you guys are there or you left? Okay. Uma, any questions?
I think Uma has left, and now he joined. Good or nothing.
Uma, any questions?
Actually, I was having some problem with my Wi-Fi, so I just got connected.
So that's, I mean, everything is working now. I explained you everything. Okay. Now
Yeah,
if
okay.
statement is closed, let's say if you look at here, the invoice statement is closed right now. If it is closed, then it should not work, right? Because as per the workflow rule. Because we specified the, if status is open, then only invoice, total inventory will be updated. So right now I made it as closed. If we make it as closed, then it will not update the total inventory. That's what we noticed just now. Okay, let's say 112, 121. Unit sold 10, unit sold 10, or unit price is 10, unit sold is 10. I'm making it as Lenovo. Click on save. Now you go and observe the Lenovo. Still it is 120. It is not updated. Because of the reason is invoice statement status is closed. If it is open, then only it will be updated here. Okay, so that's about the workflows. Workflows are very much important in the projects. We continue the workflows tomorrow also. This is we are using the workflows for automating the process. We can also use the workflows for sending the emails. That we'll see tomorrow. We look at here. Create workflows. So workflow rules we explain. Workflow approval process. This is what we need to discuss. Email alerts. Field updates. Field updates are nothing but the one whatever we did just now. Field updates are nothing but the one whatever we did just now. If you look at here, that's what we hear. Field update. So we'll see how to do the approval process tomorrow. Okay. So that's all. Let's continue tomorrow. Thank you. Please be maybe 2-3 minutes before, so that we can just cross check whether the network is good, all these things, so that you guys will not miss anything. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I'll send this material today.
Okay, Anna, can you please share the video classes too?
Supreet, can you? Because Supreet is sharing the stuff.
Supreet, can you please send me all those stuff?
Yeah, I'll send it. I need to upload a few more today's and yesterday. I'll do that.
Yeah, whatever the class you have been recording for a while, just send me all those things.
Yeah, sure. And Anna, Satya, now only on 21st I think you recorded. Only one is missing in my system.
Somehow I lost that one. I don't have, because the reason is yesterday there was power problem. So while converting into video, so there was power issue. Okay.
Yeah, but Supreet, other than that, can you please send me all the other stuff which what all you have, because I want to go through them.
Sure, I'll send it.
Okay, thank you.
Right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.